All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something super important, especially if you're doing your GCSE Computer Science here in the UK. Cybersecurity.
Yeah, absolutely. It's vital stuff.
It really is. It's not just, a chapter in a textbook. It's about staying safe in our actual online lives.
Definitely. Think about how much we all do online chatting with mates, gaming, schoolwork, loads.
Exactly.
Understanding how to protect yourself, your data. It's, it's fundamental now, isn't it? As crucial as knowing your way around a new app.
Yeah, totally. So in this deep dive, we're going to break down the different sneaky ways cyber threats can try to, well, mess things up.
And more importantly, what we can actually do to stop them.
Right. Consider this your sort of level up guide for the digital world. We'll be looking at things like social engineering, how people try to trick you, the nasty software out there like malware, why dodgy passwords are just a bad
That's a
idea,
really bad idea.
and even things like why that USB stick you found might be best left alone.
And our aim today is really just to give you a clear understanding of these key ideas and the practical steps you can actually take.
Building that digital awareness.
Exactly. That digital awareness that's so vital now, both for your studies and, just for getting around online safely.
Okay, let's dive in then. When we talk about cybersecurity,
Hmm.
what exactly are we trying to protect? What's it all about?
Well, at its heart, cybersecurity is about safeguarding our digital stuff. Simple as that,
Our
really.
digital stuff, meaning,
Meaning the networks that connect us, the computers and phones we use every day, the apps and programs we run,
okay,
and crucially, all the personal information and data we store on them. It's about putting up defenses to stop attacks, prevent damage, and keep unauthorized people out.
right, like locking the doors and windows on your house, but for your online life.
That's a great analogy, yeah. Making sure your online profiles and devices are locked up tight.
So it's definitely more than just having a virus scanner then. It's the whole picture.
Oh, much more. That's just one piece of the puzzle.
Now, one of the trickier threats, you mentioned it earlier, isn't really about complicated tech at all, is it? It's this thing called social engineering. What's the deal with that?
Ah, yeah, social engineering. It's fascinating, actually. It's all about exploiting the human side of security. People are often the weakest link, unfortunately.
How so?
Well, instead of finding a flaw in, say, a piece of software code, attackers try to manipulate people. They trick them into giving away information or doing something they shouldn't, like clicking a bad link or revealing a password.
So it's like being a con artist, but online.
Exactly like that. It plays on trust or fear or curiosity.
Sounds a bit cloak and dagger. How does this actually, work in real life? Especially for someone our listeners' age, like teenagers.
Okay, so one common trick is called blagging, or sometimes pretexting.
Like,
Yeah. This is where someone basically invents a believable story, a scenario, to trick you. Imagine getting a message, maybe pops up in a game you play, saying your account's been hacked and you need to click this link right now and enter your details to secure it. That could be blagging.
or like a fake message from school, maybe?
Yeah, exactly. Looks like it's from the school IT department. Says your login details need updating urgently. Click here. Creates that panic.
Ah, I can totally see how people could fall for that. It looks official. It makes you rush. What else is there?
Phishing is another massive one. You've probably seen these.
Yeah, those emails.
Exactly. Sending out loads of fake emails or texts that pretend to be from companies or services you might use. Banks, social media, online shops, delivery companies.
Oh yeah, the delivery ones are everywhere.
They are, and they often try to scare you, saying your account's compromised or you've missed a delivery and need to pay a fee. Click the link.
And the link goes to a fake website.
Precisely. A fake site designed purely to steal your passwords or your bank details or whatever they're after.
You really have to stop and think before clicking anything, don't you? Especially in emails or texts.
Absolutely. Take a beat. Does it feel right? Is the sender address weird? Are there spelling mistakes?
Good tips. Anything else under that social engineering umbrella?
Yeah, there's also something called shouldering or shoulder surfing.
Shoulder surfing.
Yeah, it's really basic, old school stuff, but it still works. It's literally just someone looking over your shoulder while you type in private info.
Like your PIN at a cash machine.
Exactly. Or your password when you're logging in on a computer in the library or somewhere public. You've got to shield what you're typing.
Definitely good advice. So, with all these sneaky tactics,
Yeah.
how do we protect ourselves? What's the defense?
The absolute best defense is awareness. Knowing these tricks exist, it's like building your online street smarts, you know?
Right.
Learn to question things, especially if a message seems suspicious, comes out of the blue, tries to rush you, or asks for personal info. Pause. Ask yourself, does this really feel right?
Check the link, check the sender.
Yeah, and be mindful of who might be watching when you enter sensitive info in public. Cover that keypad.
Makes sense. Build those street smarts. Okay, let's switch gears a bit. Something that sounds maybe a bit more technical, possibly scarier. Malware. What exactly is malware?
Malware, right. It's short for malicious software.
Malicious software.
And it's basically any software, any program or app that's specifically designed to cause harm to your computer, your phone, your tablet, any digital device.
Harm like what, though? What can it actually do?
Oh, it can range from just being really annoying, like constant pop-ups, to really serious stuff. It could delete all your files, your photos, your coursework, gone.
Oh, wow.
It can corrupt your files so you can't open them. It can even encrypt everything on your computer, lock it completely.
Ransomware.
Exactly, ransomware, where they demand money, usually cryptocurrency, to give you the key to unlock your own stuff.
Blimey, that sounds awful. What else?
Well, malware can also slow down your internet connection to a crawl, make your device crash all the time, and some types can secretly record what you do, steal your passwords, bank details, all that personal info.
Okay, that all sounds pretty horrible.
Yeah.
Are there different kinds, like specific types of malware we should know about?
Yeah, there are quite a few, but some common ones you'll definitely hear about for GCSE. First up, computer viruses.
Viruses, right.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting ill. But for computers.
Sort of, yeah. They're programs that can copy themselves and spread from one computer to another, often hidden inside other files. And they carry harmful code that can do things like corrupt your files, delete data, stop your apps from running.
Like a digital bug spreading around. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then there are Trojans, or Trojan horses, named after the Greek myth, you know.
The big wooden horse.
That's the one. These are deceptive. They pretend to be something useful or fun, maybe a free game, a cool screensaver, a handy tool you download, but secretly, hidden inside, they contain malicious code. So you install the thing you wanted, but you also install the nasty surprise.
Ah, so you think you're getting something good, but it's actually a trick to let the malware onto your device.
Precisely. Very sneaky. And then there's spyware.
Spyware. Sounds, well, like spying.
It is. This type of malware secretly watches what you do on your devices. It can record your screen, log every key you press.
So it can capture passwords as you type them.
Absolutely. Passwords, bank details, private messages, anything you type. And it often gets onto your system when you download software from, let's say, unofficial or dodgy-looking websites.
Right. So being really careful about where you download things from is super important then.
Hugely important. Stick to official app stores and trusted websites.
Okay. So how do we protect ourselves from all this malware in general? What are the main defenses?
There are a few key things. Firstly, if you're ever involved in actually creating software, maybe coding in school or something, making sure the code is well written and doesn't have obvious security holes is the first step.
Right, secure code.
Yeah. But for most users, the absolute must-have is up-to-date anti-malware software on all your devices.
Like antivirus.
Antivirus, anti-malware, yeah. Think of it as your digital security guard. It's constantly scanning for known threats and getting rid of them, and it needs to be kept updated to recognize the newest one.
Okay, keep it updated. What else?
Firewalls are important too. A firewall acts like a barrier, a gatekeeper, between your computer or network and the internet. It controls what traffic is allowed in and out, blocking potentially harmful stuff.
So, anti-malware and a firewall.
Definitely. And again, just like with social engineering, being a savvy user helps massively. Don't click on suspicious links in emails or on websites. Don't download attachments from people you don't know. Be careful about what software you install.
So a bit of online common sense goes a long way.
It really does. Technology helps, but user awareness is key.
Right. Now there's another term that sounds a bit like phishing. Pharming. What's that all about? Is it the same thing?
Similar goal, different method. Pharming is particularly sneaky. It can redirect you to a fake website even if you type the correct web address into your browser yourself.
Wait, even if I type like mybank.com correctly?
Potentially, yes. The aim, just like phishing, is to trick you into entering your username, password, bank details, whatever, on this fake lookalike site.
How do they do that? How can it redirect me if I typed the right address?
Well, attackers might try to mess with the internet's address book, the DNS system. That's what translates website names like mybank.com into the actual numerical IP addresses computers use. If they can poison the DNS
They
records.
can send you to their fake site instead of the real one.
Exactly. Or sometimes they might manage to install malware on your own computer that changes your local settings to redirect you.
Wow, that sounds really hard to spot because you think you're on the real website.
It can be tricky, yeah. One good defense is, again, keeping your anti-malware software up to date, as it can often detect and block these malicious redirections or the malware causing them.
Okay.
Also, always double-check the website address and the URL bar at the top of your browser. Does it look exactly right? Are there weird characters or misspellings?
And look for the padlock.
Yes. Look for the padlock icon, usually next to the address. That indicates a secure, encrypted connection, which legitimate sites, especially banking or shopping sites, will always use for login pages. Fake sites often don't have it.
Good tips there. Check the URL, look for the padlock.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about something we all use every single day. Passwords. We all know weak passwords are bad, but why exactly? What makes them such a big security risk?
Weak passwords are just,
I think-
well, they're like leaving the front door of your digital house wide open.
Or putting the key under the mat.
Exactly. If your password is short, say, fewer than maybe 8 or even 12 characters these days.
Right.
And if it only uses lowercase letters or maybe just letters and numbers, it's much easier for attackers to guess or to crack using automated software. These programs can try millions of combinations per second.
Blimey. And what about easy-to-guess ones?
Oh, definitely avoid those. Things like your name, your pet's name, your birthday, password 123, QWERTY. Anything predictable is incredibly weak. Hackers have lists of common passwords they try first.
So what actually makes a password strong then?
Okay, a strong password needs a few things. Length is key aim for at least 12 characters, maybe even more.
Longer is better.
Yes. And complexity. Use a mix of uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. You know, like exclamation marks, question marks, pound signs, asterisks.
The whole keyboard mix.
Pretty much. And it should be something you can remember, but that isn't obvious or personally linked to you. Don't use dictionary words. Maybe think of a sentence and use the first letter of each word, adding numbers and symbols.
Oh wait, that's a good idea.
And, crucially, use a different, unique, strong password for every important online account. Don't reuse passwords.
That's the hard part, remembering them all.
It is, but it's so important. If one site gets breached and your password leaks, attackers won't be able to use it to get into all your other accounts. Consider using a password manager tool.
Good shout. Okay, so long, mixed characters, unique for each site. Got it. Now, what about access rights? I've heard that setting those up wrong, misconfiguring them can be a security risk. What even are access rights?
Access rights or permissions are basically like having different levels of clearance for different users on a computer system or a network.
Like in spy films.
Yeah.
Level 5 clearance.
Huh. Sort of. It determines what each user is allowed to do. For example, some users might only be allowed to read files. Others might be allowed to read and write or edit files. Some might be allowed to delete files or install new software, while others can't.
Okay, different levels of power.
Exactly. Now, the threat comes if these access rights are set up incorrectly. This is called misconfigured access rights. For instance, imagine giving a standard user the permission to delete critical system files when they really only need to, say, read documents.
Yeah, that sounds risky.
It creates a massive security hole. It means someone could accidentally or maliciously do far more damage than they should be able to. Or if that user's account gets hacked.
The hacker gets those higher permissions too.
Precisely. The attacker inherits those excessive rights.
So what's the protection there? How should access rights be set?
The key principle is called least privilege.
Least privilege.
Yeah. It means you should only grant each user the absolute minimum level of access, the minimum permissions they need to do their specific job or task, and absolutely nothing more.
So if someone only needs to read files, only give them read access. Don't give them write or delete just in case.
Exactly that. It helps limit the potential damage if something goes wrong, like an account being compromised or someone making a mistake.
Makes sense. Limit the blast radius, sort of.
Ah.
Okay, let's move on to something we can actually, hold in our hands. Removable media, like USB sticks. We all use them, right? What are the cybersecurity risks with those?
USB sticks, external hard drives, memory cards. Yeah, they're super handy for moving files around, aren't they?
Definitely. For homework, photos.
But they can also be a significant security risk, especially in places like schools or offices. There are two main angles to this. First, there's the risk of bringing malware in.
Bringing it in. How?
Well, imagine a USB stick gets infected with a virus or some other malware. Maybe it was plugged into an infected computer somewhere else. Then you bring that stick into school and plug it into a school computer.
Ah, the malware jumps onto the school computer.
Exactly. And from there, it could potentially spread across the entire school network. Think about that example. A student brings in their homework on a USB stick that they didn't realize had a virus picked up from their home computer.
And suddenly the whole network could be disrupted, data lost. Big problems.
Potentially, yes. It's a common way infections spread. You just don't know what might be lurking on a USB drive someone else has used, or even one you found.
Good point. Never plug in a random USB stick you find. What's the other risk you mentioned? Data going out.
Yes, data leakage. This is about sensitive information leaving an organization or your possession unintentionally. If you store important or private data on a USB stick, maybe school project files, personal information, whatever, and that stick isn't protected, say it's not encrypted.
Encrypted, like scrambled.
Yeah, scrambled so only someone with the password can read it. If it's not encrypted and you lose that stick or it gets stolen, well, whoever finds it can just plug it in and access all that data.
Right, potentially sensitive data falling into the wrong hands.
Right.
Okay, so how can we protect against these risks with USBs and other removable media?
Well, in some high-security environments, the safest approach is just to restrict or completely block the use of personal removable media.
Just ban them.
Or tightly control which ones can be used. If they do need to be used, especially for sensitive data, then encrypting the data on the drive is really important. That way, even if it's lost or stolen, the data is unreadable without the password.
Encryption is key then.
It is. And also user education, making sure everyone understands the risks of plugging in unknown devices and the importance of protecting any sensitive data they put on removable media.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, one final threat area before we talk about prevention. Software that isn't kept up to date. Unpatched software. Why is that a problem? We all get those update notifications.
And people often ignore them.
Yeah.
But they are really, really important for security. See, when software is first released, an operating system, a web browser, an app, it's almost never perfect.
There are bugs.
Bugs, flaws, vulnerabilities, weaknesses in the code that clever hackers can discover and then exploit.
Exploit how?
They can use these flaws as an entry point to get into your system, maybe install malware, steal data, or take control of your device. Software developers are constantly finding and fixing these flaws, and they release the fixes as updates or patches.
Ah, so the updates patch the security holes.
Exactly. If you don't install these updates, your software remains vulnerable. It still has those known weaknesses that attackers know how to exploit. You're basically leaving a known security hole wide open.
So those update notifications that pop up all the time are actually really important security warnings.
They really are. Skipping updates is like saying, hey, hackers, here's an easy way in.
Right. So the protection is obvious then.
Yep. Install the updates promptly. The absolute best thing to do is to make sure automatic software updates are turned on for your operating system, your browser, and all your important apps.
Let it happen automatically in the background.
Exactly. That way, security fixes are usually applied quickly and reliably, often without you even having to think about it. It's one of the simplest and most effective security measures you can take.
Brilliant. Okay, so we've looked at a whole range of threats there. Social engineering, malware, pharming, weak passwords, dodgy USBs, out-of-date software. Quite a minefield.
It can seem like it, yeah.
Now, let's flip it around. Let's talk about prevention. How can we actually stop these cybersecurity nightmares from happening, or at least make it much harder for the attackers?
Right.
What are some of the key methods?
Okay, so on a more organized level, especially for businesses or schools, one really important technique is called penetration testing, or pen testing for short.
Penetration testing. Sounds serious.
It is, but it's ethical hacking. It's where security professionals, people who are authorized to do this deliberately, try to break into a computer system or network, just like a real attacker would.
Why would they do that?
To find the weak spots. They do it in a controlled way, obviously not causing real damage, but their goal is to identify any security vulnerabilities before the actual bad guys find them.
Ah, so it's like hiring a burglar to test your locks and windows.
That's a perfect analogy. Find the weaknesses so you can fix them. It's like a practice drill for your cyber defenses.
Okay. Are there different types of this? Pen testing?
Yeah, generally two main approaches. One is sometimes called a malicious insider test or white box testing.
White.
Yeah, meaning a tester has some inside knowledge to start with, maybe usernames, some understanding of the network structure. It simulates an attack from someone who already has some level of access, like a disgruntled employee or someone whose account got compromised.
Okay, testing the inside threats.
Exactly. The other type is an external attack test, often called black box testing. Here, the tester starts with zero prior knowledge. They're on the outside trying to break in, just like a real external hacker would, probing for any way in.
Got it. Testing from both inside and out. Interesting stuff. What are some other preventative measures we might come across? I've heard a lot about biometrics lately.
Biometrics, yeah, they're becoming much more common. Biometric measures use your unique biological characteristics to identify you.
Like fingerprints.
The fingerprints are the most common one, yeah. But also things like scanning the iris or retina in your eye, facial recognition, even analyzing the characteristics of your voice.
Wow. How does that help security?
Well, these characteristics are unique to you and generally much harder to fake or steal than a password. So using biometrics like a fingerprint scanner to unlock your phone or log into an app can be a very secure way to confirm it's really you before granting access.
Yeah, my phone uses my fingerprint. It definitely feels more secure than just typing a PIN in that someone could maybe see.
It generally is. Though no system is absolutely foolproof, biometrics add a strong layer of security.
Okay. What about those weird squiggly letters and numbers you sometimes have to type in on websites? Or clicking pictures of traffic lights? What on earth is the point of those?
Ah, you mean CAPTC.
CAPTCHA, yeah, that's it.
It stands for a bit of a mouthful. Completely automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart.
Right. So it's a test to prove you're human.
Basically, yes. Its whole purpose is to distinguish between a genuine human user trying to access a website or service and an automated computer program, a bot, trying to do the same thing. Yeah. Bots can cause all sorts of trouble.
Like spamming comment sections.
Exactly. Or trying to automatically create thousands of fake accounts, or trying to guess passwords by automatically submitting millions of them, or scraping website content. KPCHAs are designed to be easy for humans to solve, but difficult for most bots.
So there's distorted letters, or asking you to click all the pictures with a bicycle in.
Yeah, or sometimes just a simple checkbox that says, "I'm not a robot," which does some clever checks in the background. Those are all different types of CAPTCHA.
Okay, so they can be a bit annoying sometimes, but they're actually useful for stopping the bad bots.
They are very useful for that, yes. You'll see them used in lots of places when you're registering for a new online account, sometimes when you log in, especially if you've had failed attempts, maybe for online voting systems, definitely when buying tickets for popular events.
To stop bots buying them all up.
Exactly. And as you said, to prevent automated spam in comment sections or forums, and even to stop fraudulent clicks on online ads. They help ensure fair use and block automated abuse.
Right. Makes sense now. They're a necessary evil sometimes.
Yeah.
What other ways do websites or services try to make sure it's really us, like confirming our identity?
Another common method, especially when you first sign up for something, is email or phone verification.
Oh, yeah, where they send you a link.
Exactly. They might email a confirmation link to the address you provided. You have to click that link, which proves you have access to that email inbox, before they'll fully activate your account or let you use the service.
Okay.
Or, similarly, they might send a unique one-time code via SMS text message to the phone number you gave them. You then have to enter that code back into the website or app.
To prove you have that phone.
Precisely. It helps verify that you actually own and control the email address or phone number you're claiming to use. It stops people easily signing up with fake or someone else's details.
That makes sense. It's another layer of checking it's really you. And just to circle back, we already talked about it in threats, but keeping our software updated automatically is also a massive preventative measure, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely critical. It bears repeating. By taking the task out of the user's hands most of the time, automatic updates significantly reduce the window of opportunity for attackers to exploit known vulnerabilities in older software versions.
Because the patches get applied quickly.
Yes. Security fixes get deployed fast, often without you even noticing it happening. It keeps your baseline security level much higher. It's probably one of the single most effective preventative steps for the average user.
So that's a good look at some key ways we can defend ourselves and our systems, from the proactive stuff like pen testing and secure coding to user-level things like strong passwords, biometrics, CHEPI TCHA, and just letting those updates run.
Exactly. It's rarely just one single thing. Good cybersecurity is about using multiple layers of defense, combining technology with user awareness and good practices.
Well, this has been a proper deep dive, hasn't it, into the world of cybersecurity threats and, crucially, how we can actually stop them or protect ourselves.
We've covered a fair bit of ground.
Yeah, definitely. From understanding how people can try to trick you with social engineering and phishing,
To the different types of nasty malware like viruses and Trojans,
the dangers of weak passwords, misconfigured access rights, dodgy USBs, pharming,
and why keeping your software patched and up to date is so important.
and then looking at the defenses, penetration testing, biometrics, CAPI TCHA, confirming identity, and those all-important automatic updates.
And the real key thing to take away, I think, is that this landscape, the world of cybersecurity threats and defenses, it's always changing. New threats emerge, new defenses are developed.
So you can't just learn it once and forget it.
Exactly. Staying alert, staying informed, keeping that awareness up, that's really crucial for navigating the online world safely today and tomorrow.
Absolutely. So here's a final thought for you, our listeners. Thinking about everything we discussed today, all the ways your online accounts, your devices, your data could potentially be targeted. What's one simple change, just one thing you could make today, right now, to improve your own cybersecurity?
Could be checking your password strength, turning on automatic updates somewhere, being more suspicious of emails.
Just one small step. Definitely some food for thought there. Hopefully, this deep dive has given you a really solid foundation in the key cybersecurity concepts you need for your GCSE computer science studies.
Yeah, it covers the main areas you'll likely encounter.
But don't stop here. Definitely dig deeper into these topics as part of your studies. There's always more to learn, and it's knowledge that's genuinely useful in everyday life.